so much more that I want to talk to you about as well today. But thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for that amazing introduction. In addition, I'm also currently the CMO for Cultivate Lasting Symphony with the amazing Craig Siegel. So that is also what I'm doing in addition to all of the other things.
Yes,
So
I actually was going to open with a question about that because I was going to say that I know that right now, currently, you are the CMO at Cultivate Lasting Symphony Inc. And I wanted to know, since that's, your most current project and what you're working on right now, I wanted to know if you can tell us a little bit about, tell us a bit about that event first and foremost. And then we're going to jump into your background because it's fascinating.
yes, thank you. So last year, I had the pleasure of starting to work with Craig and his amazing company. So I actually help with his amazing podcast, The CLS Experience. We've had amazing guests like Alicia Silverstone, Darren Woodson, Randy Garn, Ed Milet, and the list goes on. And so I've been doing that, as also working with him with his speaking and just also all things marketing with him. So it's been a great experience, and I love it. And that's currently what I'm doing is one of the main things that I'm working with right now.
And I love one of the things that I saw in his marketing. Temporary defeat is not permanent failure. And I love that. And I think that's such an important lesson. And that actually intrigued me to start looking further into Craig and what he's doing. And I think that sounds like a really interesting person to know, and very inspiring. And so are you. So combined, I feel like both of you make quite the dream team on this.
Yeah, I'm super blessed to work with him. He's just so amazing. He's so positive, and he's all about mindset and personal development and really making sure everybody, lives their best lives to the best that they want to for themselves. So it's truly a blessing every day.
That's amazing. And I mean, living our best lives is the goal, right? And
Yes.
It seems like right now you seem to be living your best life at the moment from what I'm seeing. I'm so excited because we met prior to you having the PR firm. So I'm so excited that you've got that launched and off the ground, and you've had a couple of different career changes along the way. And we talk a lot about transforming your career here on our Monday podcasts. So I wanted to ask you about your trajectory. You started with a cookie company, and now you're doing PR. And has it kind of been in a flow, or is this something where you've been kind of traversing the way with some ups and downs along the way? Tell us about your journey.
I think definitely there were some ups and downs along the way. I think definitely starting out in the food industry really helped me understand sales and marketing, which is super important part of PR, because you're always marketing the different people that you're working with, the different projects, and I think that really set me on my path and my journey to fall into, I guess, PR and marketing. And I feel like it's just because I'm a people person, I love it because I get to interact with different people all the time, not just when I'm pitching somebody, but the different people I get to work with. So I feel like it's really my calling, and I'm so blessed that I was able to leave the previous thing that I was doing behind to really go in full on with my passion in this.
That's amazing. And you are such a great people person. You're phenomenal at networking, and you know everybody. I feel like everyone I know ends up, they're like, oh, I know her. So, is that something that does really come easily for you? Has that always been easy for you?
I feel like networking and being in the rooms where you should be has always been something I've always been in. And I think I've just always been able to connect with people. And I guess people always call me a connector, if that makes sense. So I'm always connecting different people and, making things happen. So yeah, I definitely think that is something that is a passion and a strength of mine.
That's awesome. And I heard a great term the other day, which is the keystone species. And it's the species in the ecosystem that everybody else kind of feeds off of and lives off of, and they provide for, they're like the center hub of the ecosystem. And I feel like that's such a like you're the keystone species for a lot of the groups I know. You bring everyone together. Um, so yeah, I do think, I mean, it's great that that's a passion because it's something you really are so phenomenal at.
Well, thank you very much. That means a lot.
So tell me a bit about how are you using social media in a lot of what you do these days for PR? And we always ask our guests on the show, when did you jump into social media? Were you in it from the very beginning?
I
Like early Twitter?
I actually wasn't. I think I probably came into it in about 2007, I want to say, is probably when I first discovered Facebook, because I was in college in the 90s, and it was pre-Facebook and pre-social media. So I really didn't have that. It was really all I had was AOL Mail or other email systems that, was before Gmail. So I really, I think, discovered it after, like when I was probably after my first career in the cookie business.
And do you find yourself using it often for pitching, for PR purposes
All the
now?
time. I definitely daily, like all the time. I'm always using either Instagram or Facebook or Twitter to find somebody that I want to contact, whether it's for what I'm doing with Craig or for what I'm doing for something else. I'm always using social media on a daily basis. I really feel like it's part of my life.
Yeah, I don't know that any of us can get around it nowadays. Like there was a stat the other day that Instagram and TikTok are now becoming some of the top search engines, even above um, Google. And YouTube has already surpassed Google a long time ago, and as far as search goes. And it's just, I feel like as a marketer overall, you can't get away from it. It's a necessary evil.
100%. I feel like, as you said, it's literally everywhere. And if you need to look something up or you need to get a clip, you either go to YouTube. Yes, sometimes we use Google, but you either go to TikTok or Instagram or YouTube to find what you're looking for.
And do you source stories at all? I know as you write for New York Style Guide and Thrive and Medium, are you sourcing it all through social?
I sometimes do. If I can't find something, sometimes I'll post in one of the PR groups to ask somebody if they have a source or they can help me find somebody. But most of the time, yeah, I'm definitely, searching through.
Yeah, I see like a lot of articles nowadays, they have they'll embed TikTok videos and things like that in them. And really like a lot of sourcing through um networks that are up and coming. So I find that a really exciting thing in journalism overall because it gives more opportunity to anybody to get their story out there if they present the content in the right way.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm always discovering new networks, Emily. Like all the time, somebody will say, "Oh, well, this is a good network," and a lot of times I've actually used it for sources, or actually when I'm pitching, and actually been able to get some features out of it. So I've always loved to learn, and always love to learn if there's something new, because I definitely don't know everything, and I know there's so much more out there that I can still learn and discover.
And how about podcasts and like social audio? Do you do a lot with that?
I do podcast booking for Craig. So I'm always sourcing for talent, but I have placed other clients on podcasts, and it's something newer. Um, Depending on the client, some want to be on podcasts more than others. So it's definitely something I'm learning and understanding and embracing, as I feel like podcasts are pretty much the new thing right now. And, it seems like everybody that I know either has one or wants to start one, but there's a lot that I still need to learn about it.
I feel you on that. We launched a podcast maybe 5 months ago or something like that. And we're learning every day new things with podcasting. It is crazy how much there is that you can actually do and utilize the podcast for and create other content. Tonya's phenomenal about that too. Creating and reusing content and syndicating on different platforms and such. And I'm always impressed to see what she does with these chats, and definitely a lot to learn on the podcast side of things.
Yes, definitely. But I feel like it's something that is going to even grow and evolve even more, especially as Spotify and some of the bigger networks are expanding more. So I definitely think this isn't going away anytime soon. It's probably going to be even bigger in the future.
Well, hi everyone. I'm sorry. I'm running a little. Sorry about that. I'm trying to like run everything all at once over here. But do you find? And you know the funny thing, we're talking about TikTok. Hi Alexandra. I'm sorry about that. I've been looking forward to hearing from you and seeing how you've been. And
Yeah.
you're like my hi friend. I feel like we run into each other at different events.
Yes, it's so wonderful to be here, and it's so great to be chatting with you today. And thank you so much for having me.
So like the podcasting, I feel because back when I started in 2010. And it's funny because I'm seeing all these social media South Florida events that I was covering, that I would never, ever call myself a podcaster. Like, I was just so against it. I was like, I'm a broadcaster. Don't call me a podcaster. I'm a broadcaster. So, and then here we are. And it's like the pandemic happened and all we do is talk about social audio now. So with that, I mean, you're booking for your clients and stuff, but you don't see yourself hosting your own, say, like Twitter Spaces, and then converting that, because you do have the following and you are everywhere in social media. Besides, being the producer, it would be kind of cool to see you as the content creator.
Never say never. I always keep all options open. That and I think writing my book. So we're two things that I'm definitely considering doing, because I love connecting with people and telling people stories. That's really, I think, what drove me to contributing to Medium, to Thrive, at New York Style Guide, is really getting to tell different people's stories and really getting their messaging out that maybe they haven't gotten out before.
Can you not do because I follow Dr. Drew, and he should start doing this, and we're gonna probably end up changing a little bit on ourselves too, but could you not use, like, say, like Twitter Spaces to do your social audio, but also have the audience, and like what your book is about, you can maybe have the audience be part of it and have them come ask questions or answers or what their thoughts, and then use that content as part of your book.
Yeah, that would be definitely something to consider. I'm still learning Twitter Spaces, so I definitely want to explore it more and see all the capabilities that I can do with it.
Because with social audio, I mean, like, I'm actually going through withdrawal, not meeting in person. I think every time I'm ready to go meet something, and then I get like, newsflash, more COVID, more this, more that.
I know. We're living through a crazy time. I'm hoping that this is, going away sooner than later. I'm actually heading up to New York on Wednesday for some events and to see people and family. So I'm looking forward to traveling more again as well.
So what is going to be the first thing you do when you land in New York?
Probably head straight to my hotel, just because I get in a little bit late. But the next day I have some meetings lined up, and then on Friday I'm going out to the Hamptons for a few events, one of which I've been helping with. So I'm super excited for that.
Yeah, the Hamptons. I come from the old school of, like, when I worked for NARS Cosmetics. So back in the 90s, well, it's Sex in the City and the Hamptons. I don't know if you ladies remember that. It was just the place to be. So I always think about that.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Go ahead, Alex. Sorry. I was just going to say, that's one of the best Sex in the City episodes is the Hamptons episodes. Good.
Yes, it is. I'm excited. I haven't been back to the Hamptons in a few years, and I'm super excited to see friends I haven't seen in years. So it's going to be a really fun weekend.
Are you covering, when you're in New York, will you be covering anything for New York Style Guide as well while you're out there? Like, what are you working on these days on the writing side of things?
Yeah, actually, I'm going to be meeting with a winemaker. First, when I get in, I have a lunch meeting on Thursday to cover them for it. And then also, New York Style Guide is a media partner for the event that I'm going to this weekend.
Very nice. Right now,
Yeah.
like my only knowledge of the Hamptons these days is the show Summer House on Bravo. Don't know if you're familiar, but big fan. Hopefully, you run into some of them.
I actually think I know one of the people in there. So I think one of my friends is in the show.
What? We will have to talk after this. I'm a very big Bravo fan. They have BravoCon coming up, and I'm weighing the options of going, which I shouldn't necessarily admit, but such a big Bravo fan.
I'm tempted. So if you go, let's talk.
Okay, we will chat. We will chat. My husband thinks I'm nuts, but I'm like, this might happen.
Where's BravoCon supposed to be? I heard of Comic Con, but BravoCon, that's actually a thing.
Yeah, it's actually a thing. It's obviously it stalled during the pandemic, but it's in New York City. It's in November, I believe, of this year.
It's in October this year.
Sorry, I was wrong. October.
No, that's okay. Yeah, and the only reason I'm even like, it's like 2 weeks before the boat show, and I have a big launch at the boat show, so I'm weighing it. But I pretty much live on Bravo. I work from home, so it's just on all the time here. So, yeah, I shouldn't admit that. I watch the news all day long. I do PR. No, it's a lot of Bravo here. But
that's okay. I watch Bravo at night, so there we go. We're fans.
So, Alex, are you jumping at all with clients or for yourself even into all this fun Web3 stuff and the metaverse and any of that?
I'm learning about it only because the editor of Your Style Guide is very into it.
Hold on a second. Emily, can you mute your mic?
Me? Yeah.
There you go, Alex.
Okay. As I was saying, I've learned a little bit about Web3 and NFTs because I have some friends that are into it. But other than that, I don't know very much about it, other than I know normally there's one unique NFT, and once it's gone, and there's different metaverses and things where you can purchase things. But other than that, I don't really know that much about it. But it is a fascinating thing that I definitely want to learn as far as that and like cryptocurrency and all those things.
Well, I know metaverse is happening when eBay is buying into it. So I have tons of stuff to go on eBay that needs to be minted, and then could you imagine going to an eBay metaverse shopping experience?
No, it just seems surreal because I just feel like eBay just started, even though it started so long ago. It's so different because that's where I always used to go to buy stuff. Now you go to Amazon and other places to buy things, especially vintage and stuff.
Yes, so much of that has changed, and I think it's fully changed the way that we're doing branding and marketing and PR and all of that. What have you seen? How have you seen that kind of shift what you're doing?
As far as what branding and marketing goes, I feel like a lot of it is much more targeted towards social media and the different demographics, especially the audiences, I guess, that each individual client or person is targeting. So, whether it's their colors, their graphics, and their marketing, it's much more targeted, I think, towards social platforms versus traditional, just like emailing people. Because I feel like everybody's so visual now. They want to see everything out there versus just like in a text and email. That makes sense.
No, absolutely. I mean, everything, especially like video has become so huge nowadays.
Yes.
And yeah. Do you do a lot on like the production and the video side?
Not as, I mean, I definitely, with some of the people that I work with, they definitely use video content a lot. So I definitely am, much more, I guess, immersed into it. I don't personally create a lot of my own videos, but people that I work with do. So I'm definitely seeing the power of video and how powerful the messaging is um, out to your audience, and really how it can bring a community and audience together.
I think that's the coolest part with the video is people seem to interact with it so much more. So you can really like have a client's personality or brand personality shine, and then people just really they comment, they share, they engage at almost double the amount if it's just text based, which has been nuts to see.
Oh, it is. And then, one clip that you think is, oh, I don't think it's so great, can go viral as you see, like on TikTok or Instagram, and get like 20, 30 million plus hits. And it's just sometimes like a kid eating a McDonald's or doing something, you don't think's interesting, but people do. It's just amazing, how anything can go viral and it can really change somebody's life.
You're so right on that. And it really, I can't figure out, and I talk a lot to different marketers and different social media professionals, and we all just sit and say, we can't figure out what the trick is. People can try to sell these, oh, we'll help you go viral and all of this, but to really do it organically and have it hit in an authentic way, there's no trick, there's no pattern. It's just these random videos that you like you said, you wouldn't necessarily expect would be the one, but they hit in a way that drives these numbers, and it's an algorithm game, but it really is just luck of the draw.
It really is, because something that, people might, as you said, might not think is so fascinating or interesting, something just like it clicks and it goes viral. And it's just so amazing to see like what does and what doesn't, and try to understand. And it is really hard though to understand the algorithms. You can try, and we've tried, but I don't think there's really any way of really understanding it. Just do, and then see what happens from it.
So what are we going to do when TikTok's taken away? When FTC takes TikTok away? Because they're saying that TikTok is, they're. Have you guys read about that? They're going after. Like, I'm actually watching I was watching a whole show of TikTok and was doing to
That's
people.
really interesting. I should actually ask my friend that works for TikTok, but no, I don't. I haven't read about that. I just feel like it's been expanding so much lately.
So FTC is going after. They're wanting Google and Apple to stop carrying it in the store in their
Oh
download.
wow.
Yeah, because they're saying that the servers are being hosted in China, which is ran by the government. So that's. I'm just kind of curious because we eat and sleep social media, and it's exciting time.
Yeah.
And TikTok has proven that anyone, like, if you get the right subject matter, if you stay focused to it, great things happen. I myself I have an account, but I really don't use it that much. But I find that like the YouTube is also going through that whole short 17-second thing that they're
Yes.
doing. But you know what I realized also is the Spotify, because I think I spend a lot of my time on Spotify now, listening to all the different podcasts. Spotify seems like having a really good algorithm and showing you different things too. Have you had a chance to look on Spotify also?
I listen to it a bit. I don't really listen to podcasts as much on that. I think I probably listen more on Apple, just because I've known about Apple more. But I definitely can see what you're saying though, that they're actually growing, expanding. I feel like in the last few years they've blown up. They really have brought on like the Joe Rogans and different people, and really expanded the network and really put personalities behind it, especially in all the content that they're pushing out.
Yeah, I've been studying how they're doing the content, because so that's what we're doing over here. Like so the what I've discovered is, like, if you sign up for Anchor.fm, you can literally have 10 or 12 networks all in one shot. Like, just upload your content, create an account, all of them, and then you click and it goes up to 3 hours. But I don't see a lot of people, and I don't hear much about Anchor FM anymore. But Spotify is another animal, and the way they do it, and with the sponsorship and everything. Emily, have you checked them out? This is like really good sponsorship platform.
I have. It's just very expensive. So I don't know if you've looked into the pricing of a lot of the Spotify ads and things like that. But a lot of many of my clients are actually outpriced on the Spotify side right now, just with the cost versus where they can spend those ad dollars from other places. So I'm hoping that as Spotify grows their programs, they can lower cost a little bit and help people out there. But it is, I mean, the way that they target the demographics that they're able to pull, like all the analytics from the listeners, it's incredible. They can now target down almost as well as Facebook can.
Which is incredible, actually, that they can drill down so much to get the little minute details that you don't think are important, but for your clients, or when you're looking at, is this worth the ad spend? You really can see all the details right there.
100%. And that's
I'm looking at like the Joe Rogan, because the way he did it is like it's on his page. It's like it lists all of his actual sponsors, and I'm trying to see if I don't even remember even seeing any ads from anyone. Like I might see his maybe, but most of the time it's like it's from him talking into when we do this, and let's say I upload it to there, right? I would go in and add the little snippets inside of that and then upload into one shot.
I got like advertising on the podcasts themselves and things like that, not through Spotify, because that is affordable and extremely doable. And we do quite a bit for our clients. And that would be a good tip for anybody listening is find your niche audience, figure out who your demographic is. What are they listening to? And then contact those podcasts and sponsor those podcasts with your ads. Saves you the money from sponsoring on Spotify itself.
That's a great tip. That actually makes a lot of sense.
That's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a lot of this kind of, and they're saying, just listening to him and listening to some other podcaster, and I have to look back and I'm thinking, wow, that makes more sense. I mean, that was my old business model when I first started in the live streaming, but it makes more sense to create the content and then also read the ads because he doesn't have other people's ads. Like they don't just come on and some brought to you by, like he actually sits and reads out these ads and then they input those little clips into it, and he does a 3-hour show. So it's like, I mean, and it's not all ads either. It's like a lot of talking, but it's a lot of like him sharing the screen because you actually get to see him, but also you listen to it. But he has him and his producer, they would read their sponsors. And then more like their point of view of it, not like, and I see Dr. Drew does the same. A lot of the different shows are starting to do that. They just, instead of having the ads run through, like Dr. Drew, for example, he's on YouTube. And he uses Twitter Spaces as the call-in, and he streams out to all these other social networks too, like Rumble, and he does on Twitch and stuff, but they're all on YouTube. But then he'll just add in his clips, like, I started using the skincare. I was traveling and the skincare was horrible. My skin was horrible. So I started using the skincare. I just think this is such a really cool way to do podcasts.
They are. And all of those are, I mean, that's basically what we in print would call like an advertorial, because it's paid advertising, but it's spoken and worked into the podcast as if it's, just a product they love or something, that they're chit-chatting about how useful X, Y, and Z is, but they actually are getting paid to say it. Another big thing is all of this affiliate marketing nowadays. So a lot of the times they'll get a percentage of anything that sells with a code that you use from their show or things like that. So if you have a product that you're marketing, put it on a platform where you can, send people affiliate links. That's big with media right now.
Yeah.
I was just going to ask, is this something you do a lot with, Alex?
I do a little bit of affiliate marketing. In my previous career, I have about 7 years of affiliate background, but it's changed. It's not through a CRM, which is what I traditionally did. It's now on different platforms, especially in PR and media. A lot of journalists actually say, is your product on X network? Like Skimlinks is one of them. That's a big one. And if it's not on there, a lot of publishers, not all, but a lot of different publishers won't actually accept that product in the story if they don't have an affiliate link, which I found very fascinating and interesting.
Yeah, that's definitely been something over the last maybe year or two we've seen a lot more of also. And we had to help clients switch over, which I'm I've contracted that out because it's really not something I'm very familiar with. And it's something I'm trying to learn. But we've seen that with a lot of stories. Like you have to have the affiliate link or they won't include it whatsoever now.
Oh yeah, and it's not necessarily the journalist that cares, but the people that they're, contracted to do the story with are like, well, you have to have every product either has to be on Amazon and also has to be on this one of these affiliate platforms.
Yeah. Well, because nowadays that's pretty much replacing a lot of their ad dollars. So
Hmm.
that is why that's the major requirement. But it has certainly changed the way that we're doing things on the marketing side, and certainly the way that business owners and people with product launches and all of that really need to be thinking about when they're putting things out.
Oh yeah, and there's definitely people in PR that I know that all they do, Emily, are affiliate stuff. And they write like books, like paragraphs on it, and it's definitely something I want to learn a little bit more, but I don't really have a need with the people that I work with at this point to really delve too much into the product side of it. It's much more services and stuff that I do currently.
Yeah, I've been following a lot. You probably have too, like with Ali Walansky and like a lot of other journalists who are
Yes.
very dedicated on the affiliate side. So I've been studying up as much as I can because I know that's like we have social audio and there's social shopping. And
Right.
I feel like the combination with all of that together, with all these affiliate links, is pretty much where marketing is heading towards. And then we're going to have metaverse stores and all of that good stuff. So trying to keep up with it all.
I think we'll also probably eventually have like NFT stores where people can like literally go into the web store and buy their NFTs too. I feel like all of it is coming full circle in different ways.
Absolutely. And it's exciting. Like I love where this is all going. I know Tonya loves where this is all going. She's been preaching this stuff for a long time.
I've been obsessed with the stuff. It's kind of, it reminded me when I sat in a space in February of last year and listening to all this NFT conversation. I was like, this is like, I felt like this much excitement when I first discovered social media back in late 2006. Right? I was like, oh my God, Facebook 2007. I was like, everyone's going to be on Facebook. And then, now it's so exciting to see different people talking about the NFT and Web3, but then there's also the dirty side of it also that we want to go down this path. But I feel like it's exciting time, and it's really about the experience, right? Like Alex, like when you do a story, you cover a story, you really do you feel like you have to make it more about experience when you talk about your subject matter?
I think it depends on, who I'm interviewing. Sometimes if I'm interviewing somebody that has like a company that's more experiential or has cool experiences, I highlight that more. But sometimes it's, I'm interviewing like an author. So it's really like promoting their new book or promoting, their background. So it's not necessarily, experiential as much, but it depends. Every story is different.
And Alex, you've done so much in the art realm as well, like with Ben Moon and others, and we did the Art Basel event. What are you doing in art nowadays? Because I know a lot of that would tie in on the NFT side too.
Well, I'm actually coming up this weekend. It's called Art and Soul Hamptons. It's really highlighting Black and Brown artists specifically. So we're actually on Saturday, which is free to join in the Hamptons, an art walk to go to several different galleries to see different artists from all backgrounds, from Latina to Indigenous to African American artists. So really highlighting different artists and different people from different backgrounds.
That is very cool. And you guys should videotape your art walk and then use it as content on other platforms and syndicate that stuff.
I'm sure it all will be, and all goes well. This will be the first of many events in this series.
Amazing. And I say that selfishly because I can't be in the Hamptons tomorrow, so I want to see it all.
Well,
Yeah, me too. I'm like, where are you sharing this so we can follow you?
Well, hopefully, if all goes well, we'll be at Art Basel this year. That's the goal. So we'll see. We'll see how this goes, and then discuss it after.
Oh, that's amazing. I wish you a
Yeah.
lot of luck on this. Yeah.
Thank you.
Very cool.
Yeah, I'm on your Medium account. I'm just looking at some of your stories, and I love this. I'm looking at I'm reading Dr. Ashley Brissett. 5 things I wish someone told me before I started leading my company. We're gonna go ahead and share that out. I just thought that was kind of, and I love the way you write, by the way.
Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, I love being really able to highlight different people of different backgrounds, from everybody from doctors to writers to entrepreneurs, small business owners, and celebrities. So it's great to really have that whole wide spectrum of people to highlight.
Do you have a favorite interview, like something that either really inspired you or just somebody that was really fun to talk to?
I think probably my first interview, which was Ty Hunter. He was Beyonce's stylist and also still his best friend for 24 years. And so that's really where he started. But how he actually started in his career, I think, was the most fascinating. Um, he was originally selling medical devices and, like, I guess, heart pacers or something for your heart. And one of his friends, um, got very sick from it, and then he stopped doing it and then went into doing displays in a store, and that's where he met Miss Tina in Houston, and that changed his life. So you never ever know, um, when somebody will come and change your life.
That is so true. Every day is a new opportunity, right?
Every single day is a new day to have endless possibilities.
And you really do exemplify that, because even in just the short time that I have known you, it's not even that short of a time now, right? We've known each other quite a while, but in the time that I've known you, you've proven that, like, every single time it's like a new door has opened and a new door has opened. Has that been, we talk a lot here on the show about like imposter syndrome and how women a lot of the time, we doubt ourselves, and we aren't always so willing to jump out of the comfort zone. So how have you dealt with that?
I think probably just throwing myself into it because, when I left my previous career and I left New York, after pretty much within like 3 weeks, um, I really was thrown into, okay, what do I want to do with my life? And that's, I think, when I really had the time to be like, okay, I really want to do PR and events and work more with people, because I think it was always there, but I just never had the opportunity. And I think I was so comfortable in my position in my job, even though I was miserable, that I was too petrified to leave. So I think being thrown into having to leave really put me into the path that I am today.
Yes, sometimes the universe gives us that nudge we need, right? They're like, it seems like a door closing, but it's what we needed for that moment.
I honestly think, if I had not been let go from my previous position, I wouldn't be where I am today. I still think I probably would be stuck and miserable and hating life. Just, I know that everything definitely happens for a reason.
100%. We don't always know why it's happening, but it always happens for a reason. I believe that.
100%. I definitely believe even how we met was meant to be, like, being put into the group that, we're in. So I definitely believe everything happens for a reason.
It really does. And actually, you mentioned that group, and I'm going to open it up in a moment for anybody who has any questions for Alex as well. But Facebook groups, we should talk about that, because I don't think I'd be able to do my job without them.
I definitely wouldn't. I mean, not just the friendships I've made, but being able to connect with different journalists or different people that are writing about specific topics. I mean, that's how I've garnished a lot of press. And that's actually how I met the editor of Authority magazine. I would never have really gotten into writing if I hadn't been in, one of the groups that, we met in. So I definitely think it was life changing for me.
Same. I keep telling everyone, I'm like, if you're not searching on Facebook for the groups that fit the niche for your product, your organization, your company, or yourself, you're missing out. Because it's not just the conversations that are going on in the groups, it's the relationships that you'll build from there. And you can connect with pretty much anybody nowadays through the groups. It's amazing. when you really start to, and you have to engage in them, you actually have to be a part of the group, but they really do work. And I think it's a missing piece to the puzzle that a lot of people aren't using.
Oh, 100%. That's also how I've gotten a lot of business. It's how I've met all the people I'm working with currently. So I definitely think it definitely was so beneficial for me and is every single day because I'm always connecting with new people, meeting new people, and also asking for support when needed. And yeah, not everybody always knows, but I think sometimes it's just great to be able to engage with people.
Agreed. And like so many days I've just gone on to that group and I'm like, it's a PR group. And I'm just like, anybody else hearing crickets today and not hearing back from reporters? And I'm feeling disheartened. And you have a whole group of people that come back and they're like, it happens. There's days like this. It's all good. Take a breath. Here's a funny meme. Relax. And like, you just feel like, especially for those of us who do work at home or we're small team, sole proprietors, a virtual team, like you have a support system there. So I think that's huge too.
It definitely is because when, as you said, when you have those days where you're just like, oh my God, nobody's getting back to me and like crickets. And then all of a sudden, like somebody will, you're like, okay, it was the universe saying you have to slow down and maybe pivot and do something else for now. And don't beat yourself up over it because, you know, you're doing the best you can. And some people just don't get back to you until like the third or fourth follow up.
Exactly. Now we do have a question from Twitter, so I'm going to go to
Sure.
that. And the question from Twitter is that we mentioned at the beginning that you worked with a cookie company,
Yes.
and they were curious to see what that was about. They want to know what it's about the cookie company, and how did that lead you into PR and marketing overall?
Sure. So the cookie company was actually started out of my mom's kitchen because we were actually going to sell biscotti, which was primarily what we sold, to coffee chains that at the time was a chain that was competing with Starbucks, or as actually pre-Starbucks, really. And so I did that for 6.5 years, selling cookies, biscotti around the country. And that really, I think, got me passionate about working with people since I was always interacting with people at all the different trade shows. So I definitely think that opened up the door for me to do what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, that's definitely like being thrown into the fire because trade shows are intense.
Yes, and when you're doing them 8 months out of the year, at least 1 week a month, somewhere, sometimes it was in the same city that I was, but a lot of times I would be on an airplane and in a hotel, probably more than I was in my apartment in the city.
And that's hard. Like I did that for a while too with the job with the hotel company, and everyone feels like that's oh so glamorous, but it's hard to be away from home that much and to consistently be on the road.
It was, I think, hard for me also because I was in the prime of my life in my 20s and I missed like friends' weddings because I was at the NRA, the National Restaurant Association show for one of my closest friends' weddings. And I got to miss meeting Judge Ginsburg, who officiated my friend's wedding. So, like things like that, that I felt like I missed out on. It was definitely great because it really threw you into being in the real world because you really had to deal with lots of different personalities, brokers, distributors, buyers. So it was really, I feel like, throwing me definitely into the fire. But I think I'm able to now use those skills to do what I'm doing now in my current career.
And while that would probably have devastated me too, not to get to meet the great RBG, she officiated your friend's wedding, which is just insanely
Yeah.
cool. Um,
Yes, I know.
so cool. But as you said, I mean, those are the skills that you're using now, and you are in such a great place now, and you're killing it in the PR world. Everything that we see come out of, for your clients has just been amazing. And I love working with you on the clients we're working with. And
Me too.
yeah, I think it's been wonderful. So I know we have only a few more minutes left here today, and Terry, shoot us a wave if you're here so we can do some closing exercises. There we go. Hey, Terry.
Well, we have somebody that
Hi.
wanted to ask a question. I think that we request. Do we have time? I also I also pinned up your story with Tyrone.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, I just pinned up, and so I just tagged him too, because it is a really good story, by the way. And let me go ahead and let me get IP_candle. They had a question. Hi, how are you? Did you have a question?
Hi, yes, I did have a question. So
The mic is yours.
thank you so much. So I have just started out doing marketing for a law firm company, and I was just wondering, like, if you guys had any advice for when you guys first started out with like digital marketing and all of that, like what's something that you wish someone would have told you when you first started out?
I guess when I first started out, that I guess do your due diligence and really find the platforms that work best for your business. Don't just do Facebook ads because people are telling you to do Facebook ads. I think really do the research to find, I think, what fits your business and your needs the best, and then really focus on that. And be careful in not spending a lot of money until you really know exactly how you want to market what you're marketing. Is there something, are you specifically just marketing a law firm services? Is that what you're looking to do and get new clients? I'm
Yeah.
assuming.
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely think doing stuff in the local market is really good, and focusing on like local publications, trade publications, things where you may find people that are really interested in the niche that you're in, and then also expanding into the national, if that makes sense.
Gotcha. That definitely makes sense. So what would you say is like a lot of money for marketing, for like ads, something like that, when you're just getting started?
I mean, I wouldn't spend tens of thousands of dollars just on ads until you really know, I think, what your marketing plan is and what your strategy is, because I think you need to have that before you can really do anything with ad spends or anything like that.
Yeah, I usually advise my clients to start with only a couple of $100s, maybe 200 or 300, and test your ads. See what translates, to engagement. See what's converting to website clicks. See what drives people to your profile for visits, and really track the analytics for like 30 to 60 days minimum. And then once you know it works, add money to that. But don't just throw money into it without testing, because as Alex said, I mean, you could spend tens of thousands of dollars and have no results. So get the results first on a smaller scale and then leverage that.
Okay, thank you so much for all your advice. Just one more question if we do have time. So would you say that like maybe starting off with all the platforms is best, or little by little going into each one to figure out what works?
I think I probably would start maybe with one platform and test that out and see how that works for you, and maybe two, and like split test it. So maybe do some marketing on one and then one on another and see which works best. And then if you don't feel like those are working, maybe start expanding into more, so you don't get too overwhelmed, because it can be a very overwhelming process if you do too much too fast.
Yeah, definitely. And have you thought about this? You're talking about law firms, am I correct?
Yes.
So I mean, like I noticed a lot of like I'm deep into social audio, so just FYI. But I noticed a lot of attorneys. Well, in America, they're utilizing. Like I've seen a couple in Twitter Spaces. I a few of them actually are doing, not a few, but the ones that have started early doing it. Just having a subject matter on different things that to do a space on it, and then they're downloading and they're putting it out as a podcast. They're getting a lot of followers. They're getting a lot of business that way, and also they're utilizing the listeners asking questions for them, and they take that and they use that for the other platform that they're working with. And then they came up with a budget. So I hope that helps a little bit, just give you some ideas, because we can sit there and say I'm gonna use one platform, but then really people want to know more about the person before they even want to listen to it, the person. So I always felt like every business owner have get themselves a marketing person, but also set up some type of like get to know this attorney, or what to do when this comes about, and what is your legal rights or something like that. And I've listened to a lot of them. There's actually one that does metaverse attorney law. I mean, he sits in VR and he does all this, and he gets a lot of clients that way too. So something to think about. And if you do Twitter Spaces, it's free.
And I just want to throw this in there really quick. Is the biggest tip I can give you that I wish somebody had told me is own your content. So gather email addresses and send email marketing pieces out, but own your content. So as Tonya said, have a blog, have a podcast, take it, put it on social, but then take it off of social media platforms as well. So that if TikTok goes away, if Meta, Facebook is no longer around, you still have your contact lists and you still have ways to communicate with all the people that you've brought into that following.
Wow, that's great. I really appreciate you guys and all your advice. Again, thank you guys for letting me ask that question and really helping me out. I appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us.
And Alex, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was such a pleasure speaking with you and everyone. And thank you so much. And if you like any of my content or anything, feel free to follow me on all the social platforms at Aspire76. And thank you guys so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you and listening to your journey. I think it's so empowering. And also, I mean, it fits perfectly on Empower Yourself Monday. And so on that note, we want to appreciate everyone for being here. And again, anyone that as you know, we are recorded and we are live streaming. And this space itself will be cut up in little snippets to be distributed into all social network and booking sites. So just let you guys know that, the disclaimer. And then Terry, the mic is yours. And Alex, thank you so much, by the way. And Emily, what a great space.
Thank you guys.
It was great.
Was a great one today.
It was great. Okay. This will just be a couple of minutes. Everybody close your eyes. And whether you're standing, sitting, laying down, you're going to take a deep breath in through your nose. Exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. With your eyes still closed, gently breathing in and out, you're going to relax your face. You're going to relax your eyes, your jaw, going down to your neck and shoulders, letting it all go. Visualizing the stress going down your arms, out through your fingertips, upper body completely relaxed. Relax your chest, your torso, your hips. Visualize stress going down your legs, out through your toes. Gently breathing in and out through your nose. And you're completely relaxed. And as you're breathing, if any thoughts come in your mind, allow them to just float away like clouds in the sky. Just coming and going, not sitting there thinking about it. And as I close this meditation, some final thoughts. Forgiveness means more to your God than sacrifice. Forgive one person today. Open your heart to that person and release unnecessary suffering from the past. Feel the peace that follows from this simple act. Namaste. May the divine in me honor the divine in you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Terry. The show doesn't end unless you do that. So, Alex, thank you so much. I appreciate you for being here and have fun in New York. And I look forward to our collaboration. I hope to see you in our in-person events that we're setting up.
Yes, definitely. I hope to make it over to you guys soon. And thank you so much. And looking forward to collaborating with you guys some more in the future.
Thank you, everyone. And again, have a great day.
Great.